Are you ready to sell your home and don't know which realtor to choose? Well, not all realtors are the same. I'm Crystal Copas, and I don't just stick a sign in the yard, throw it in the MLS, and hope to collect a commission. I provide a customized marketing plan that includes professional staging, photography, videography, and drone at no cost to you. Contact me, Crystal Copas, with RE/MAX Real Estate Service, and let's get your house sold. 919-356-5402 or visit me at crystalcopas.com.
90 years ago, First Bank was founded. You know First Bank, the one where you are greeted by name, the one dedicated to the community, and the one born in the heart of the Carolinas.
We help our customers to realize their dreams by providing financial solutions and building trusted relationships. Hi, I'm David Fashee, and we are First Bank.
It's my favorite time of the year. Football is back. I would like to personally invite you to come down for your next new or pre-owned vehicle purchase. With one of the largest new and pre-owned inventories in the area, come see us today for discounts that the competition simply can't match or beat. If you drive in Sanford, why not buy in Sanford? Come see me, the deal maker. Come and get that big town deal with that small town feel right here at Crossroads Ford in Sanford.
Pentair, empowering people to move water, improve water, enjoy water, so that people can live their best, healthiest lives. Lives with purpose, lives with enjoyment, lives that flourish, lives with hope. Because at Pentair, we're not just about better water. We're about better life. Pentair, bringing water to life, for life.
North Carolina Farm Bureau, proud supporter of Lee County Scholar Athletes of the Week.
Farm Bureau can help you and your family with all your auto and home insurance needs.
Farm Bureau has life insurance and financial services to meet all your needs, now and in the future.
Farm Bureau Tramway Office is proud to award the Farm Bureau Scholar Athlete of the Week.
Something big is coming. Something so big, it'll change the world of chicken sandwiches. Zaxby's new signature sandwich with Zax sauce or new spicy Zax sauce, because the chicken sandwich war ain't over yet. The new signature sandwich. All the other little sandwiches can run along. We'll take it from here.
WilkinsonCars.com. Come visit us at our new location in Sanford. With the same great staff and the same great service. Test drive one of our many different vehicles. Check out our state-of-the-art service department and collision center, where our team can have you back on the road in no time. We're right across from Walmart at 3335 North Carolina 87 South. Schedule your appointment online at WilkinsonCars.com or call us at 919-842-3322. We guarantee we're the place to be at Wilkinson Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Visit us online at ClassicNissanSanford.com or call 1-855-461-9595. Classic Nissan Sanford.
About many times, once he gets his hands on you, that's ball game.
Yes, sir.
I was expecting that to be a punt and a
the hand of Johnson, offense. Way too much space. Untouched until he gets about 8 yards down the field. Union Pine stacks him up there. But that's a good first down gain for the Jackets.
Lee County so far has not lined up and just done that. It's kind of what we keep saying we're anticipating, and that will make an appearance at some point in time. Up 3 scores, you know you can run the ball. Sometimes you want to just go ahead and get out of here with a win and move on.
All right, from the spread all night. Hand is to Johnson. Johnson runs through a tackle at the line of scrimmage and then runs over another tackle. Needed 2, picks up 3, maybe 4, and that'll be a Jacket first down. First downs this year brought to you by Pentair.
Lee County getting in the play, taking their sweet time. We've got the play clocks on tonight, just not being used. Watching the back judge, eating some clock.
All right, 4 wideouts. We've seen most of the night. Patterson fakes it to the left, comes back to the right to McKendall. McKendall had, look at that tunnel. When you say tunnel screen, buddy.
That's what it's supposed to look like.
That tunnel was there. And McKendall had his eyes upfield before he brought it in and let it hit the ground. Incompletion brings up 2nd and 10.
I don't think he'd still be running, but I think he would have been stopped by space, not by a person, if he'd caught that. Lee County lining up and trips to the wide side. Ooh.
Pressure coming. Oh, and they pick it up. Pitches it outside. This JoJo Jennings on the carry.
Bringing
Gets
the hammer.
13 and leveled a Union Pines defender at the end of that run.
It was number 52 from Union Pines again. Didn't get his shoulder pad level low enough, I guess. Boy, he's going to feel that one in the morning.
And the senior back Jennings doing us a favor wearing the orange shoes tonight. Easy to pick out. I like that. It's always good. Patterson drops. Looking down the field. They fake the screen. Jackson Lamb. Is that Lamb into the end zone?
I believe it is.
I believe it is. Fake the screen. Union Pines bit, and Jackson Lamb ran right past him. We talked about him making plays.
He's a playmaker day in and day out. He's not going to pop out on any score sheets or anything. But when you need a play, this young man is always available to do it. And Union Pines bit on the tunnel there. They ran what's called a tunnel. Lee County ran what's called a tunnel rocket, and they just capitalized.
All right, so 27-7. Scorekeeper's a little bit ahead of himself. They've already gone ahead and put the extra point up on the board.
I think it should be 34.
Oh, you're right.
Soon to be 35.
My fault. It is. Yeah, they're behind. I said they're ahead. They confused me. But anyway, regardless of what's on the scoreboard, it's 35-7, and Union Pines gets punched in the mouth coming out of the locker room. We'll take a quick break and be back with the kickoff. You're watching the NFHS Game of the Week.
Something big is coming. Something so big, it'll change the world of chicken sandwiches. Zaxby's new signature sandwich with Zax sauce or new spicy Zax sauce, because the chicken sandwich war ain't over yet. The new signature sandwich. All the other little sandwiches can run along. We'll take it from here.
Welcome back here in Cameron, North Carolina. I'm Nate Cochrane. We got Chris Delambert with us here, the whole New Image Media group. Wayne Craigsley down in the computer room, slinging magic at us. Producer Tim Kopis working his magic as always.
Kopis doing double duty tonight, man, running a camera?
I know. He's not used to working this hard.
Yeah, he's usually somewhere drinking coffee, wheeling and dealing, trying to cut real estate deals and stuff. Actually putting in effort. I like this. That's what a leader does, though. Leads from the front.
Absolutely.
Man. Steps up. If you need somebody to do a job. He knows how to do everybody's job. One of these days, I'm not going to show up, and he's actually going to do play-by-play. Oh, they got another offsides. That's twice we've seen that from Lee County getting a head start. And that one was trouble. That ground ball found its way between the shortstop and the third baseman.
I believe Lee County ended up with that ball.
They did, but for naught. That was quickly blown dead. Offsides again, so the timing not quite right on that.
Lee County going to try this one again from the 35 this time. Special teams, a facet of football that many teams neglect and can be dynamic if done properly.
Well, and what we see more and more in high school football is instead of the old, getting your return team, making sure they block everything up, trying to seal things. There's a high spinner, going to be fielded, bobbled, but brought back near midfield. Keyshawn Davis, the starting tailback, one of the up men on the return team. But what you used to see in days gone by is you lined up, you kicked the ball deep, and you returned it. That was pretty standard, and unless the situation called for it, you didn't see a whole lot of onside, and that was something you didn't work on. But more and more we see teams trying to do cute things in the kicking game and, trying to come up with a free possession out of it. And it's obviously changed the dynamic of what you have to coach on your return teams. And you can tell, pop pass. Well, the good thing about that, that's that pop pass. It's incomplete.
That's right.
Nothing lost. I don't like the rule, and I think that we may see it evolve over the years, and that be considered a fumble. But because he threw it, even though it was about 6 inches forward, it's an incomplete pass. Trying to connect with Biggs on the reverse there, and well, it was tough. I mean, the timing was blown up because Monahan didn't come up with a clean off the snap and was a little late getting it to Biggs, who was almost by him by the time he pushed it into his belly. And Biggs trying to run at full speed and corral that thing, unable to do it. But a completely different formation than we've seen now. We saw tight set before. This time they've got the receiver stacked on both sides. Monahan running for his life, does a good job evading. Now throws it.
Hits him in the chest plate.
And is that Allbrooks on the far side? That's a big man trying to get low for that pass, but would have been big if he'd come up with it. Instead, it'll be 3rd and 10.
Union Pines in a tight stack formation with the tight end here. Exciting formation. Something we haven't seen a lot of out of them. Be interested to see if we saw some different levels formations out of this.
Well, like we said, this offense is a work in progress and it's still growing. We saw last week every single snap, Jones lined up to one side and Biggs to the other. This time they're putting them on the same side of the formation together, and that one is brought in, and he's going to get forward progress out across the line to gain. Needed 10, got 11, and that'll be a Union Pines first down. Kelby Wright making plays in the offense. And this is Kelby Wright, I don't think, had a catch last week.
No, I was about to say, not a guy that we mentioned his name last week at all.
Now, he lined up and played some corner, but didn't see him as a feature in the offense. But now with Biggs and Jones lining up on the left side consistently on the same side of the ball, that opens it up for somebody on the other side to make some catches. All right, fakes to Davis, rolling, throwing it, has a man. Not a whole lot of room to do anything there, but would have gotten positive yardage out of that.
Number 17, Holden Dole, I apologize. Junior wide receiver for the Vikings there. Got to catch before you can turn upfield, Chris.
Yep.
We see that game in, game out.
Well, you see it at every level of football, so you shouldn't feel too bad about it.
No. You're correct on that one. we see it in the pros. That's
yes,
okay.
Sir. All right, 2nd and 10 coming up. Need positive yardage here to keep this, make sure it's a 3rd and manageable. Monahan rolls and dragged down. Pressure was immediate.
Number 54 on the pressure. That's our guy, Darren McCoy. We talked about him earlier tonight. He brought the heat on that play.
Deron McCoy having a big night. I might see him on Monday. I got a sneaking suspicion.
Lee County looks like they're going to be lining up in a 3-man front here. Expect ears pinned.
3rd and 22. 7.5 to go in the 3rd quarter. Union Pines needs to pull a rabbit out of their hats.
Showing blitz with McKendall.
Here it comes. And looking for Holden over there on the other side, and that wasn't gonna get it done regardless. And I don't know what route he was running, but it wasn't what Monahan thought he was supposed to run. And that'll bring up 4th down in the punt team. And we've seen some hijinks in the kicking game, but and last one they did, the fake punt was predictable with Biggs taking the option pitch to the left. This time, 4th and 22 here, I think you got to kick this one away.
I would recommend against that one, yeah.
Eli Garrison back deep for the Lee County Yellow Jackets. Lee County showing pressure. Now they drop 2. Snap is low. That's trouble.
Bobble,
that's
snap.
trouble. That's trouble. That's trouble. And he's not going to get out of there. Crosser, the punter, couldn't come up with it. And
Lee County going to take over on the Union Pines 30-yard line.
Yeesh.
Not looking pretty here, boys, for
It's
the
not.
Vikings.
It's not. Patrick Crozer had one of the best nights we've seen from a punter a week ago. Flipped field position several times in that Harnett Central game. Didn't get a chance there. You saw the snap wasn't going to get there from the time it left the center's hands. And now Lee County is set up in great field position. JoJo Jennings in at tailback. And they're to block now. Patterson looking down the right side. Got McKinnell, throws it over his head and out of bounds. Not a good-looking throw. Didn't really get didn't get his feet set and step into that. Was still sort of floating backwards as he let that one go.
We've got number 3, Eli Garrison, on Lee County hobbling off. Going to need to keep an eye on that.
Had a little hitch in his giddy up, but by the time he got to the sideline, he looked to be running okay.
The 18-wheelers letting us know they're here. Lee County taking a deep chance there on 1st and 10. I'd expect some heavy dose of running the ball. Second down.
The hand to Jennings. Not going anywhere. Swung backwards. That guy, Josh Berkey there with the stop. If he gets his hands on you, it's over. And Jennings is a big man.
What's Jennings' weight at?
230 probably. I'm gonna guess. Oh, and he's down.
And he's down.
That's not good. Well, his teammates think he's got to stretch out a cramp. The medical staff is going to evaluate. While they do, we'll take a quick break. You're watching the NFHS Game of the Week.
WilkinsonCars.com. Come visit us at our new location in Sanford. With the same great staff and the same great service. Test drive one of our many different vehicles. Check out our state-of-the-art service department and collision center, where our team can have you back on the road in no time. We're right across from Walmart at 3335 North Carolina 87 South. Schedule your appointment online at WilkinsonCars.com or call us at 919-842-3322. We guarantee we're the place to be at Wilkinson Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC. We are professional grade.
Welcome back here to Cameron, North Carolina. We are the NFHS Game of the Week, brought to you by Wilkinson Cadillac. Union Pines, Lee County knocking on the door. We thought for sure this was going to be points. They're looking at a 3rd and 12 right now, Chris.
Yeah. And just when we think they're going to settle down and run the ball up the middle, they continue to throw. And here on 3rd down,
here comes Spangler. Right up A gap. Not giving up yet. This combo of Spangler and Berkey, Chris, they are something special.
Nate, if you're talking protection, it's really simple. Find 57, find 53.
And don't let them by.
Wow. This Union Pines defense is fun to watch.
It is absolutely fun to watch.
I had a chance to talk with D coordinator Jason Trousdale, and that block.
Oh, block punt.
Block, scoop.
Union Pines.
And going the other way. That's number 25 going to the house.
Way. I don't see any flags. We talked about special teams, how dynamic and it can flip the field. Flip some points real quick. Here we go, Union Pines touchdown.
It was about 90 seconds ago. Lee County was on the move, doing damage. We thought that momentum was all with them and they were going to put this thing away. Instead, Union Pines showing just a flicker of life. Huge play.
This Union Pines team, you got to give to the boys and the coaching staff. Being down 35-7, it's real easy to get down on yourself. These boys come out, they still got some fight in them. Led by Spangler and Berkey there, 57-53. They're not letting them quit.
No, sir. Blatt's on for the kick. Snaps a little high. Hold is down. Kick is through and it's good. And it's 35-14. Union Pines will kick off when we come back. You're watching the NFHS Game of the Week. Lee County 35, UP 14.
All you do is win, 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 no matter what. We got you on the mind.
us online at classicnissansanford.com or call 1-855-461-9595. Classic Nissan Sanford.
Welcome back to the NFHS Game of the Week from Cameron, North Carolina. Union Pines keeping it interesting. Lee County, the last year's 3A state champ runner-up, comes down here. A lot of size, a lot of speed advantage over Union Pines. Union Pines just won't quit.
Just won't quit. You're right, Chris. This team has shown a lot of gumption tonight. Every time we think Lee County's closed the door, Union Pines finds a ways to open it back up. Says, not yet, boys. This is a completely different Union Pines ball team than what we watched last week.
Oh, goodness, yes. All right, fielded by Jackson Lamb at about the 20. Brings it out across the 25 to the 30. And wrapped up, spun around at the 33-yard line. Lee County will take over. Now, we've been a little – I hate to be critical. These Lee County coaches, it's a great staff. And the proof is in the pudding with what they've done over the course of Steve Bordeaux's 3 years at Lee County. But this offense that they're running with this pass-first approach, now you really have to wonder if they take the air out of the football to keep this clock running. We'll see. I mean, we're going to see how it goes. The first play is a handoff to T.J. Johnson. Johnson into the secondary, running over people, breaks out all the way across the 40, down to the 30, inside the 30. 38 yards on the carry for T.J. Johnson. Wasn't touched until he was 15 yards downfield.
And when he has a full head of steam after 15 yards, you're not bringing him down with just one unless you're Mr. Berkey.
No. So every once in a while, I wonder if at my advanced age I could get out there and strap on some pads and play high school football. And when I see a young man like T.J. Johnson, I realize maybe for one snap.
Ooh, I haven't heard that this year.
Yeah, all right.
I'm starting to miss it a little bit.
McKendall on the sweep. Breaks out of a tackle. And submarine down after a gain of about 6. Lee County's starting to lean on him a little bit.
I think we're going to see through the rest of this ball game, we're really going to see Lee County's front just start leaning on Union Pines. Union Pines has a bunch of boys going both ways every snap. It's hard to keep up. It is hard to keep up, especially when you're giving up a size difference of at least 50 pounds on average.
All right, Patterson giving instructions to Jennings, who's checked in back in at tailback.
No rush here for the Yellow Jackets.
All right, Patterson hands to Jennings. Jennings takes it. Going to be close to a first down. Late flag coming in.
Ooh.
Either a face mask or a hold.
And that handoff there goes to number 43, Darion Jennings.
In the area of holding, however, they were in a big scrum by the time that came out, so I wouldn't be surprised. And there you go.
We got a face mask.
With the face mask. That's what I was leading up to, sir.
I knew where you were going with that, too. Just had a feeling you were going to say it was going to be a face mask.
And from that spot, that's going to give them a first down. So Pentair first down for the Jackets and delivers them into the Zaxby's red zone, all in one fell swoop. All right, 21-point lead, ball at the 17. Points here. Probably time to start the bus.
Probably time to get it warmed up. 4:39 left here in the third. Expect to see a
Lamb in motion, runs off. Palmer on the screen, has it, tries to break it outside. Oh, now does spin out of trouble and turn something into nothing. He's going to have 4 on the play. That's Kenyon Palmer. Not the first time we've seen him do a lot by himself out there.
It's an exciting young man to watch. I remember the name from Southern Lee last year, but I don't remember this dynamicness that he has this year. Maybe it's potential offensive scheme. Maybe it's a year and a half in the weight room. Who knows? But nonetheless, dynamic play from number 1, Kenyon Palmer.
Well, of course, Southern Lee, when Palmer was there, a run-first offense, to say the least.
They were live or die by the triple option, and they died.
All right, this time is Johnson. Johnson
and strolling in.
With another touchdown for the Jackets. That'll stretch it out to 41-14. When T.J. Johnson, First of all, it's blocked very well.
Absolutely.
But he being such a big back, not a quick guy, but, man, you give him a full 3 or 4 steps to get rolling with a head of steam, that's a lot of man coming your way. And Union Pine's unable to do anything with it. Strolls into the end zone, stretches out that lead to 42-14 after the extra point by Hernandez. And with 4:24 to go, this is a 4-score game all of a sudden. We'll take a quick break and be back with the kickoff. You're watching the NFHS Game of the Week.
Are you ready to sell your home and don't know which realtor to choose? Well, not all realtors are the same. I'm Crystal Copas, and I don't just stick a sign in the yard, throw it in the MLS, and hope to collect a commission. I provide a customized marketing plan that includes professional staging, photography, videography, and drone at no cost to you. Contact me, Crystal Copas, with RE/MAX Real Estate Service, and let's get your house sold. 919-356-5402 or visit me at crystalcopas.com.
Welcome back here to Cameron, North Carolina, the NFHS Game of the Week, brought to you by Wilkinson Cadillac. Lee County 42, Union Pines 14, 4:24 left in the third. You've got to start to wonder, Chris, is there just plain and simple enough time for the Vikings to make a run to try to come back?
In short, I don't think that there is. And honestly, going in down 3 touchdowns, kicking off to open the second half, it was going to be tough. Union Pine's unable to get off the field on defense that time, and that might be it. However, there are some things to be really impressed with this Union Pines team about. Ahmad Jones on the return, and, we talked about how you never see the ball returned anymore in the kick game. Ahmad Jones does a good job, brings it all the way back out to the 40. You're seeing the difference between a big 3A and a little 3A school right now. Lee County, and it's interesting because then you bring in the question, the 4A schools. 4A, you're going to see specialists. Unless you are a premium athlete, you're not going to play both ways very much. Most of you guys are going to play offense or defense. When you get to the big 3A, you see guys that play both ways, but they come off the field. Yep. And when you get to the small 3A schools, which is where you would classify Union Pines, it's a struggle not to play your athletes both ways. And that's where you get to late in games, and we're seeing it in the third quarter and now into the fourth. Now, the upside for Union Pines is you're not going to face that another time on your schedule, really, in the Tri-County 6. Ball put down on the ground. That was close to lateral. They blew it dead, though, incomplete, and that's a bit of a break for Union Pines. So they're not going to face that. But I would direct anybody that's here to take a look at the Union Pines sideline, because in a lot of cases when you see a team get down 4 touchdowns, you would know just by looking at the sideline, by the body language, the helmets coming off, all the rest of that stuff. And by and large, those guys are still up. They're still engaged. I know because I've been around these kids. They believe in this staff. They believe in the scheme. They believe that they can compete every time they show up. And that's a credit to what Coach Cox and his staff are doing out here. Union Pines is going to continue to get better. He's doing a heck of a lot of work with the junior highs to get the system running so that there's continuity. And that's the type of thing that you normally see from bigger schools. Union Pines is a program that's not going anywhere. They're just going to continue to get better.
Coach Cox, we can't sing his praise enough down here in Cameron. But he learned what he could from old Mr. Richard there at Scotland County when he was a running backs coach at Scotland County. He knows what it takes to run a high-end big program.
Sure.
And he is bringing that big school philosophy down to Cameron, North Carolina here at Union Pines and doing a phenomenal job. We cannot speak enough about how good he and his staff are.
Well, and let's go one step further, because he saw how to run a program at Scotland where you have every athlete in the county coming to that school. No. There's a reason I say that, though. Scotland is a one high school county.
It is.
Well, then he goes to Southern Lee and is there with Ken Neal and gets to see what happens in a county where you don't necessarily get all the best athletes and the things that you have to do that. And I'm sure that there are some things he learned. There are some things that he saw that he didn't necessarily think were the right way. But he's taken all of these experiences and came down here and, it's hard to be upset about anything that's going on with Union Pines in the couple of years that Cox has been here.
Absolutely.
We love his staff.
Yeah.
The coaching staff is top shelf, especially at a school this size. And they're going to win a whole lot more ball games than they lose down here at Union Pines, period. Now, on the flip side of that, got to talk about Lee County.
Oh, Coach Steve Bordeaux.
I mean, Lee County.
The factory.
It is a
that
factory.
has become Lee County High School.
And I think this game is a testament to the fact that in the Tri-County 6 right now, and for the last couple of years, Lee County can show up, doesn't have to play their best game, and is going to win pretty much every game in the Tri-County 6, which they have for years now. And this is it, because next year we go to a new conference. And you're not going to be able to show up and play a bad game on a lot of nights because you're going to have Pinecrest in that conference. You're going to have Scotland County, Richmond County, and there's a T.J. Johnson having a big night, breaks away. They're going to mark him down well short of that, but he's still got 20 on the play, and it'll be a Lee County first down. However, back at the 21-yard line, there's a flag. Looks like it's going to be a hold.
Oh, good catch. I didn't even catch that one.
So you've got Richmond County, which is a big 4A school.
Yep.
Again, another one high school county.
Yep.
Richmond is a powerhouse traditionally. Pinecrest, which is the biggest, baddest dog in Moore County and has been for years. Chris Metzger's got a tremendous program out there. I mean, if you didn't know better and you showed up on campus at Pinecrest, you'd think you were seeing a small college team play. Scotland County, who is a 3A school, but is one of the premier 3A programs in the state. And then you have Hoke County in that conference as well. Now throw in there Southern Lee and Union Pines, which are relatively small 3A schools. But Lee County has their work cut out for them at least 4, maybe 5 or 6 weeks out of that doggone season. It's going to be a different dynamic for this Lee County program. They're excited about it. They want that challenge. They believe they can beat all those teams. They want to line up and do it. And I think that people close to the program feel like Lee County might be better prepared for the postseason than they have been in the past, where they haven't faced any adversity. And that goes back before Coach Bordeaux showed up at Lee County, when that used to be the complaint. Lee County would run the table or be the second-best team to Terry Sanford, and they'd go out in the first or second round of the playoffs, and everybody kind of looked at them like, well, they don't know what it's like to be behind. They don't know what it's like to get punched in the mouth.
So it's funny you bring that up. There's two facets to that. Under the Burton Cates era at Lee County High School, he was known notoriously for scheduling 2A, 1A schools that you could beat up on. And that was back when Lee County and Southern Lee were both at the Cape Fear Valley Conference.
Yes.
Where we went down to Fayetteville and we played the Terry Sanfords. We played all those teams down there.
Overhills,
Grace
Douglas
Creek,
Bird.
Overhills, Douglas Bird.
But wait a minute. Let's make sure that we're talking about that, because for the modern part of that, Terry Sanford was head and shoulders above everybody else. All right. Now, Douglas Bird, historically, great program, but Terry Sanford was the big dog.
Terry Sanford was the big dog in the conference. So they played a light preseason schedule.
Yes.
Got in conference play at Cape Fear Valley, and they had a couple of contested games. That's when Southern Lee was more competitive.
Palmer unable to reel it in, be fourth down,
contact.
And the punt team will come out. Yeah, I think if this game were a little tighter, you might have seen a flag come out there.
But there for a while, it was Southern Lee, Lee County, Terry Sanford, who was going to win Cape Fear Valley. Well, transition 2 or 3 years ahead, we're in the Tri-County 6. Lee County is leaps and bounds ahead of everybody else. They're starting to pick up some more quality non-conference games.
Yes.
Coach Bordeaux wants it. They're having a hard time getting people to play them.
Yes.
And then COVID hits.
Yes.
Where they had no non-conference games.
Yes.
So, besides South Granville. So, it's – I don't want to just say they're playing cupcakes by any stretch of the imagination. But, there's a chain of events that has occurred. But this Lee County ball team, right now they are the biggest school in the Tri-County 6.
Yes.
Hands down, just by pure population, the largest without a doubt. Going into next year, they're not even going to be in the majority.
No, they're not. And in fact, I was doing a little research, given the conversation we had last week. Pinecrest has almost exactly double the student body that Southern Lee does.
Oh my gosh!
You're talking about Pinecrest, which has almost 2,200 students enrolled, against Southern Lee that has less than 1,200. That kind of disparity between Southern Lee and Union Pines in particular against the biggest, because Pinecrest is a big 4A school.
Yeah, big 4A.
It's going to be an interesting matchup. Now, having talked to Coach Cox, I didn't necessarily get the response I thought I was going to from him, because he's excited about the opportunity. He wants to play those guys. He feels like their athletes can line up. And is it going to be a challenge? Certainly. And if Scotland or Richmond or Pinecrest has a particularly good team, they're probably going to come out on the short side. But he says week in, week out, year in, year out, he thinks Union Pines can be the type program that can compete with them, and he relishes the challenge. So good, I love the optimism. All right, change of quarterback now. Monahan has gone to the bench, and Finkelstein will go the rest of the way, I would imagine.
Changed up a number on me, number 7, Ben Finkelstein.
We kind of got on a little tangent there for a little while.
We did. It happens when you're in a 4-score game.
It'll be interesting to see next year. We say next year. It'll be interesting to see in 6 months, because that's where we'll be in 6 months. We'll be right back here doing high school football.
It's that close.
And
I mean, these guys are going to move from the end of this season pretty much into summer camp, getting ready for the fall season. It's going to be wild. It's been something to have it stretched, the cycle, but the compressed cycle with the 2021 season is going to be something else.
Well, speaking of compressed schedules, when we talked earlier this week, I called you, I guess it was Wednesday night, you were telling me about another compressed schedule that Lee County has going on. Tell us what's going on with Triton with the rescheduling of the game.
Well, we assumed that when the game was canceled last week, that would be it, and that that game would just disappear and come off the schedule. Looking at the schedule, there was not an open week to play it. Well, lo and behold, they're going to play that game on Monday. They're going to play it on April 5th,
the Monday after Easter,
which is the Monday, and it fits based on the NCHSA rules, and they're going to play it. So Lee County and Triton are going to play 3 ball games in 8 days.
That is insane.
Yeah. So you're playing Friday, Monday, Friday. It's bananas. But they're going to do it.
Where does spring break fall for these kids this year? You have no idea. You're married to a woman in the school system.
Yeah, but she hasn't been out of the house in, a year. So,
Ooh, Biggs.
Biggs goes down, taken down by the 45-yard line. Otherwise, he might still be running. We've seen some footing issues. But Biggs is, even down in the press box, speaking with some other folks from out of town that are here, they're like, that Biggs he's something else.
He's something special.
Yeah, he's going to be a name that'll get some real run over the course of the next few years.
An interesting dynamic within Lee County schools. This board meeting this past week, not only the extension of Dr. Andy Bryan, but our kids are going back into full swing, playing April 12th. Starting April 12th.
Yeah.
So,
high snap.
High snap.
Finkelstein unable to wrap it up, gets to it, but they'll lose 10 on the play. And that was a 4th down, so that'll be a turnover in Lee County with a short field, already up 42-14. Patterson's still in there at quarterback. I'll be interested to see if they get him out of there at some point. And Johnson's still in at tailback. I'm a little surprised by that, too. I'm especially surprised we haven't seen Ingram get any carries at all tonight.
Hurts my heart a little bit.
I know.
Rodney's got a little soft spot for her. I got a little soft spot for him.
Rodney Ingram is another of the transfers that we talk about from Southern Lee. Would have been the number 1 back over there, but assuredly to start the season anyway. But came over here and can't crack the rotation in the backfield, and that's T.J. Johnson down the left side. That is a lot of football player to bring down. They're going to drag him down at about the 8, but about 30 on the carry. 32, we'll call it, on the carry. T.J. Johnson with a head of steam. Woof. Yeah, visions of like Derrick Henry. Speaking of which, have you ever watched high school highlights of Derrick Henry from when he was in school?
Negative, sir.
You must do that tonight when you get home. The YouTube stuff is easy to find. He went to a small school, 1 or 2A in Florida.
Okay.
And he was as big when he got to Alabama as he was in high school. Derrick Henry's stats, his stats alone, if you look them up, they're silly. They're Madden stats. It's crazy. Anyway, I don't know where that came from. All right, that'll bring us to the end of the 3rd quarter. It's all Lee County set up 1st and goal at the 8-yard line. When we come back with the beginning of the 4th quarter, you're watching the NFHS Game of the Week.
90 years ago, First Bank was founded. You know First Bank, the one where you are greeted by name, the one dedicated to the community, and the one born in the heart of the Carolinas.
We help our customers to realize their dreams by providing financial solutions and building trusted relationships. Hi, I'm David Fashee, and we are First Bank.
Welcome back here to Cameron, North Carolina, the fourth quarter of the NFHS Game of the Week. Here, Union Pines versus Lee County. You got to start wondering, Lee County's feeling comfortable. It's 42-14, 12 minutes left.
So while you continue to talk, I'm trying to get to the Southern Lee Triton score.
Well, I got you beat there, Mr. Delambert. I've got a man on the inside, a father of a freshman varsity football player there, shooting me score updates. He just sent it to me 4 minutes ago, 25-7. So the Triton Hawks looks like they're going to cruise right into their next win.
Triton, of course, because of the cancellation or the postponement with Lee County playing their conference opener.
Make that drive all the way to Irwin, North Carolina.
All right, so we just got the announcement. We will have a running clock for the fourth quarter. Patterson hands to Jennings. Jennings picking his way, running through people, still dancing. Never really got ahead of steam, just danced around. Gets it down to the 5, pickup of about 2 on the play. And the clock will run now except on change of possessions.
That's correct. Looks like it'll be Lee County 2nd and 5.
Second and goal from the 5.
Second and goal on the 5. Gotta love the light-up markers.
Well, Jennings again struggling with what looks like a cramp. He's trying to stretch his calves out. And while they attend to him, we'll take one more commercial break here.
90 years ago, First Bank was founded. You know First Bank, the one where you are greeted by name, the one dedicated to the community, and the one born in the heart of the Carolinas.
We help our customers to realize their dreams by providing financial solutions and building trusted relationships. Hi, I'm David Fashee, and we are First Bank.
Welcome back again to the NFHS Game of the Week. Lee County versus Union Pines. Looks like Mr. Jennings down there is getting stretched out. Looks like he might have a calf or a hammy cramp, something of that nature.
Double duty tonight for Jennings, playing some linebacker and tailback. And we didn't get a chance. I'm a little disappointed. B.J. Brown, the freshman back for Lee County, not making a go of it tonight, so it's been all Johnson and Jennings.
I tell you, I was so excited. I've heard this young man's name. Haven't gotten the opportunity to watch him yet. First Lee County broadcast y'all did, I was off chasing storms, and haven't got to see the young man play yet. Really looking forward to it, though.
I hope I'm there when you get to see him for the first time. He's an impressive back, and got to be able to get on the field, though.
Very much so. Next week, we are Union Pines at Southern Lee High School, so we won't see him next week.
No, sir.
But the following week, April 1st, Western Harnett Lee County High School. Hopefully we get to see him back there at Paul B. Gay Stadium in Sanford, North Carolina.
Good matchup for Union Pines next week, getting Southern Lee. Southern Lee, the team that's similarly sized, dresses about the same amount of players. Not going to have to deal with a disparity in size for the third straight week, because Harnett Central was a little bit bigger than them last week too. But a game I'm sure that Union Pines will roll in there thinking they can win. Of course, Southern Lee, and T.J. Johnson up the middle.
Oh.
Bodies flying. T.J. Johnson, another touchdown. 48-14 with 11:03 to go. Clock will continue to run.
Lee County not even going to try their swinging door anymore. Just going to line it up, kick the extra point, move on with life. 10:45 left. It's weird seeing the clock run on a PAT.
It is.
Well, Lee County having some personnel issues for getting their angle.
Snap is low. Holder gets it down. Hernandez kick is up and good. And Lee County will kick it off here as we'll plow through the fourth quarter pretty quickly. So, Nate, I know you're a big football guy, as am I. That's why we do this.
That's why.
It kind of goes without saying. But NFL free agency's kicked off. Anything that's caught your attention in terms of big moves one way or the other?
Not a ton sticking out to me, but New England as a whole just deciding they're going to go after it, I guess. From what I've heard, I apologize, I haven't been able to keep up with it as much. Been on the road down throughout the middle part of the South Country. So I haven't been able to keep up with it a ton. I know New England's been making some big moves. I heard rumors about the Carolina Panthers talking to Deshaun Watson, and then some allegations immediately after. I don't know what those allegations are, and obviously we don't want to speculate on what could or could not have happened because I don't like lawsuits. But nonetheless, I sure would love to see Deshaun Watson and the Carolina Panthers, given him not committing what was potentially said against him.
Yeah, he's facing a hard time. There's a lot going on with Deshaun Watson. It kind of came out of nowhere. So we'll see how that unfolds. And it is definitely going to impact the willingness of other teams to give up assets for him. And, that's an interesting situation. Of course, now there's a North Carolina connection outside of the rumors that the Panthers might be interested in Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson, regardless of where he plays, you got a North Carolina quarterback that's going to be playing in Houston, either as Watson's backup or competing for a starting job or backing up somebody else. As Ryan Finley today was traded to the Texans from Cincinnati, which is interesting. Finley, he played at Boise State and then spent the 2 years at North Carolina State. Was projected at one point maybe to be a first or second round quarterback. Fell, I think, to the fourth, and has been the backup in Cincinnati for a couple years. And they dealt him to the Texans today in a little bit of a surprise move. Surprising insofar as Cincinnati, it looked like it was going to release him, and the Texans wanted to make sure they got hold of him. So they did.
Want to make sure they have somebody.
Yeah. All right, Finkelstein, I think, is how the PA announcer said it. We'll go with him since we don't know one way or the other.
Looks like Union Pines has implemented the burning the clock method as well. No rush to snap the ball.
All right, there's the snap, and it's high, and running back is able to fall on it.
The Union Pines offensive line coach, whoever this man must be, has got to get on this center quarterback snap exchange.
Well, Nate, that's one of those things, though. Is you can talk about it via Zoom, you can do whatever, but man, it is a whole lot more difficult, as you well know, to snap that ball into the right place on time. And that's one of those things I think that we're seeing, because we saw Harnett Central have all kinds of difficulty with it. We saw South Granville in the opening week, tons of problems with it. And I think we're seeing one of those things that nobody really counted on being an issue because of the limited reps that these kids got coming into this season.
So can we say what was potentially alleged against?
I mean,
Deshaun
you can say whatever you want.
Don't.
Oh, my gosh.
Another.
Oh. Wow. That was up the middle pressure that was as sudden as it gets. Woof. Boom. You want to talk about a play getting blown up.
There it was.
That one got blown up.
Union Pines here staring down the barrel of a third and about 19 here deep in their own zone. Looks like they'll be snapping the ball from about their own 9. At this point, you're just trying to survive and get out. You're not going to throw anything cute and fancy. You're just going to try to not give up the safety or give up an injury. Whew. With this running clock, we're already down to right at 6 minutes in the fourth quarter.
The hand is up the middle. A little bit of space for the back. He's tracking. Oof. Got a bunch, but that'll still leave him about 8 yards short of the first down, and the punt team will come out for Union Pines.
And handoff there for the Vikings goes to number 32, Russ Schaefer.
All right, Chris, so now that, and I don't mean to bring this up to rub it in your face or anything, Ohio State is out of the tournament. Who's your team that you project going all the way, winning the big dance?
You know, it pains me to say this. Michigan is really good.
Yellow Jacket down on the field.
But if I had to pick a team, and understand that I've seen limited teams this year.
Okay.
Most of my viewing was ACC and Big Ten. I think this could be a year, given the way everything's been so disjointed, that Gonzaga gets their natty.
They get the natty. They get the undefeated season. They run the table.
Why not? I mean, if we're going to root for something, my team's out. Most North Carolina fans, well, half of them is out. The other half, they probably don't have any illusions about that team going very far. Of course, when I saw the score, that Wisconsin was all over them.
Oh, yeah.
I think it was 40-22 the last I checked that score.
Ooh.
So, Carolina fans, why not root for Gonzaga to run the table and
make history?
And make history. Yeah, it's been, what's the last one, 76?
Yeah, somewhere right around
Indiana?
there. Somewhere right around there, which is kind of cool because they started at Hinkle Stadium, Hinkle Arena today. They're in Indiana. That's where the University of Indiana used to play.
Gotcha.
I learned that watching the Virginia.
Block kick.
Oh, my goodness.
And it's going to be picked up. And eventually that'll be a touchdown for Lee County.
Is that number 9, Landon Johnson?
It was definitely a single-digit player.
I'm not sure if it was 9 or 6. Carlos Hancock.
I think it was Hancock, but I'm not positive. They're going to give it to Johnson. PA will give it to Johnson. We'll give it to Johnson, too. Landon Johnson, good young man.
Comes from a great family. His father, Brent, is very, very good man. His mother, Marie, very sweet lady.
All right, 4.5 to go. Hernandez to make it 56. He does. 56-14. Well, and not to rub this in, but we talk about Lee County becoming a factory. The JV score last night, I got a call. Now the final score was 65-0. I got a call with 7 minutes to go in the second quarter, and it was 43-0. So Lee County, people joke sometimes that the talent that they have on JV could beat some teams in this conference. Union Pine's not one of those, but man, there's talent. I tell you, they got a stack like cordwood. I mean, we talked about Rodney Ingram just a little while ago. Rodney Ingram would be the running back number 1 at Southern Lee this year from day one, no doubt. Can't crack the rotation here and is playing spot duty as a linebacker.
Yeah, and Rodney Ingram there one year, I believe it was a sophomore year, was a second team all-conference of the Tri-County.
Yeah. Yep, that's, I mean, in a microcosm, that tells you what the talent level's like at Lee County. So I had an interesting debate the other night with some Lee County football aficionados.
Okay.
And we were talking about DeAndre and whether or not
Dingle Prince? No, DeAndre
McAllister. And if he had transferred to Lee County as opposed to Harnett Central, where he might have lined up for Lee County. That was an interesting conversation, and we were all over the place with it.
Nowhere.
All right, little return, picking up a head of steam. I find that hard to believe. He'd have found some place to play. He's a heck of an athlete. But yeah, it was an interesting conversation. Anyway, so you're looking at me kind of crazy.
So how did the group consensus finish up?
There was no consensus. We had a firm disagreement. So I'll leave it at that.
There we go.
But yeah, my point with the JV score from yesterday is that this Lee County, the depth here, especially for a school of its size, is really impressive. There's continuity amongst the junior high programs, and really to say that's a misnomer, because what Lee County really has is a very solid youth football organization that is tied in through the youth football into the junior highs, into the high schools. And that's not just Lee County High. Southern Lee has been a beneficiary of that as well. And you see continuity with the coaches. The coaches come up from the youth level, and they coach at the junior highs, and they coach the high schools. And, it's not uncommon for some of these coaches that wind up on a high school staff to have been coaching any particular young man since he was 8 years old. And that's something that you find in Lee County that you're not going to find in most counties in the state. And it helps explain why the Lee County Yellow Jackets are becoming a juggernaut.
Mm-hmm. Agreed completely. They're, the head of the ship and his offense defense coordinators aren't local guys, but they have really evolved into a staff of a mixture of local and non-local,
Yes.
and they bring expertise from other programs and have the expertise from the local guys who've been coaching these kids their entire lives.
Yep.
You know, it really has turned into a dynamic situation there, that Lee County sideline, just plain success, and it's working.
Well, and when when you're coming up through the pipeline, it's in a lot of communities, you get anointed when you're in the 7th or 8th grade. Oh, he's the next this or he's the next that. Well, by and large, when you're in the 7th or 8th grade here in Lee County, North Carolina, you know that you're destined for the JV as a freshman when you get to Lee County, because you just are not going to be big enough to get on the field. And that pushes those kids. And that's why you see these guys in the weight room putting on 15 and 20 pounds in an off season and really working to know, because athleticism alone is not going to get you on the field. And that success just begets more success.
We're looking at probably the last snap of the game here in Cameron, North Carolina. 16-15 rolling. I think we're going to need one more. Back judge is signaling.
And the hand is up the middle. Can be brought down short of the first down. That'll bring us to 4th down, but it's also going to bring us double zeros as the Lee County Yellow Jackets come to Cameron and get out of here unscathed. 56-14 is the final. Not a clean performance by either team, Lee County included, but they got done what they needed to do. I'm sure they looked at some things they wanted to look at as Coach Cox and Coach Bordeaux meet on the at the mid-stripe. Two great guys who really have an affinity for one another. Just super football minds, super leaders of young men, and just two all-around good guys. I'm proud to call both of them my friend.
There we go. Well, let's go to a quick commercial break, and then we will wrap it up with the post-game show here at Cameron, North Carolina. This has been the NFHS Game of the Week.
90 years ago, First Bank was founded. You know First Bank, the one where you are greeted by name, the one dedicated to the community, and the one born in the heart of the Carolinas.
We help our customers to realize their dreams by providing financial solutions and building trusted relationships. Hi, I'm David Fashee, and we are First Bank.
First Bank presents the post-game show on the NFHS Network. Brought to you by New Image Media.
This is the First Bank post-game show here at Cameron, North Carolina. We just wrapped up broadcasting the Union Pines Vikings versus Lee County Yellow Jackets. Rough night here for the Vikings. Chris, give us a quick wrap-up.
Well, Union Pines need to come out and play a clean game. You said they had to play a perfect game. I think they could have played less than perfect and been in this with a chance to win it. Anything but, though. Too many problems with the center quarterback exchange. Had a couple of turnovers. Didn't take advantage of a couple of opportunities that they had. So, in short, we just got unplugged.
No, you're going.
Check 1, 2.
You're still going.
Unplugged us.
I think this is it.
I think that's it. They really are. I would love to see Union Pines run the table and get a chance to play in the playoffs in small 3A, not get bumped up to big 3A like they did last season. That was kind of lame. But Union Pines deserves to have a shot. They're going to have to run the table the rest of the conference schedule. They are perfectly capable of doing it. It starts next week at Southern Lee. I'm excited to see that football game. I like what's going on at Southern Lee. Looks like they're going down to Triton tonight. But Southern Lee will be, 500, 2-2, as will Union Pines. So, it'll be an interesting game. It may have a lot to do with what the top of the leaderboard in the Tri-County 6 looks like when it's all said and done. But we'll find out. We'll be on campus at Southern Lee. It's like homecoming every time we come out there. That's why I got my start and spent years doing this. So I love being at that facility. I'm looking forward to the ball game. Lee County, they show up. They don't play a particularly clean game, and they want to get out of here with a 6-touchdown win. Lots for Coach Bordeaux to talk about on tape with this. He's a positive guy. He's not going to go in there and shout and holler and this, that, the other. But this team is not clicking on at 100% yet. Not nearly. They've got to figure out, just like some of the smaller schools, they've got to figure out what they're going to do on offense.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that they're hedging their bets a little bit because to be honest, if they line up and run the ball 45 times a game, they can probably beat everybody on their Tri-County 6 schedule, period.
Yep.
Given the short schedule and the size disparity and all the rest of that stuff. However, week 1 of the playoffs, you can't line up and run the ball up the middle. So they're trying to do some things on offense. It's obvious. And the timing's not there. The execution's not there. They've got to get it sorted out. They made some big plays in the passing game tonight, but most of that was Kenyon Palmer making individual plays off of those screens.
Yep.
You really want to have something that looks that's cleaner from the time the ball leaves the quarterback's hand all the way through to the end of the play. They're not hitting those routes down the field yet. They're not getting the ball across the middle. Basically, the screen game is the passing attack right now, and they really need to expand that, or it's going to be problematic down the stretch. Now, running the ball, they can run the ball. They can run the ball, no problem. And they did it with sort of one hand tied behind their back tonight. No B.J. Brown. Big night for T.J. Johnson. I can't wait to see the final numbers. A handful of doggone touchdowns. Jennings came in, had a good night at running back as well, minus the fumble. But in the passing game, it's just not getting there. Now, defense, man, when you get into a situation where they can rush the passer,
they're dangerous.
This is crazy, Nate. And I'm going to say this, and I want you to evaluate what I'm saying on a crazy scale. This pass rush is better than last year's pass rush, a pass rush that delivered 2 D1 linemen into the college ranks. Tell me I'm wrong.
Okay, so I don't disagree with you, but I'm going to elaborate on this.
All right.
Last year, Lee County rarely brought second-level pressure because their front line was so good.
That's true.
With Desmond Evans and DDP, they could line up in a 3-man front and bring 2-man pressure because their 3 guys were so much better than everybody else. This year, I don't think this front line, I'm not saying they're not good, don't get me wrong. I don't think they're the caliber that was last year's, but with that, they're lining up in a 4-man front this year. They're doing stunts, and Lee County's bringing second-level pressure into the fold as well, which frees up those defensive ends more often than not. So we're seeing a very different dynamic from a play call from the defensive side. Nonetheless, it is still dangerous.
Oof.
This group is a dangerous group. When they pin their ears back and they come, they are as dangerous as any as we've seen. So it's not that they're any more or less dangerous than last year's. I think the dynamic is different. But nonetheless, they're fun to watch.
Fair enough, man. That's what we keep you around for. All right, so Lee County stays undefeated, moves to 3-0. They've got a hectic schedule ahead of them, not the least of which is 3 games in an 8-day period coming up not too long. But we will be back in Sanford next week as Southern Lee hosts Union Pines in what's shaped up to be a big football game. The winner that's in the Catbird seat to be in second place. Southern Lee still gets a crack at Lee County down the road, and they'll be in there with a puncher's chance. So until then, unless you have anything to add, we'll put a bow on the First Bank post-game show. Thanks for hanging out with us. The Coaches Show, as always, will be on Monday night at 7 o'clock. Tune in as I host Coach Lonnie Cox, Coach Mike McClure, and Coach Steve Bordeaux, along with a whole bunch of players and a whole lot of Zaxby's chicken. It's going to be a fun night. Till then, we'll see you. Peace.